Shout outs to NBA YoungBoy for just having a successful tour. Like, because I mean, of course, a lot of the conversation before him actually going on tour, a lot of people used to question his YouTube numbers and saying, how's he doing all these crazy numbers on YouTube? And you don't know nobody who listens to him. And I think that comes from a space of a lot of podcasters where they may be financially off so well, where their kids don't go to school with kids to still stay in the trenches. And I think realistically, let's be real, YouTube is such a free vehicle for young people or people who just, I ain't even say young, people who just can't afford that extra money to pay for a Spotify subscription or Apple Music or whatever the case may be. So they just go on YouTube and listen to music all day long, but you get to see in real time those YouTube numbers actually are real human beings. Because if you look at the concert and you're looking at the people in the crowd, it looks like everyday regular people who live in middle of America, not middle of America, but in the suburbs of America and in the trenches in America. His audience actually looks like what you realistically would think an NBA young boy audience looks like, which realistically shows people that those numbers were real. So now sitting here up to current date, sitting here saying Birdman saying his next music deal probably will be anywhere upwards to 200 to 300 million dollars realistically makes sense because NBA Young, think about what I'm saying. For him to be able to sell out an arena tour, literally, I'm talking about in every jump, you see no empty seats, everybody in there rapping word for word. Think about he's doing all this with no radio play. So you kind of got to imagine, like, dang, if NBA Youngboy actually had songs on the radio, how much more crazy would this audience be? Would the audience and the crowd be a little bit more gentrified? Probably, realistically, I'm sure it will be, because if he got songs on the radio, it kind of opens up a bigger audience. But I think realistically, any smart record label exec can kind of see this check of him. If you keep him out of trouble and you can get him some songs that's a little bit more, still let him do him, because you don't want to water him down, but you also want to open him up to a bigger audience, where realistically, this may sound like a stretch right now, but he probably could go from arena tours to a stadium tour. Like, think about, and the reason why I say that is because think about how big Playboy Cardi is. And that's realistically because Playboy Cardi audience is a lot more gentrified. But Playboy Cardi got songs with ASAP Rocky. He got songs with The Weeknd and the Drakes and all of these other people. Where think about for NBA YoungBoy how he don't have songs with none of these people, and he's literally having a sold out arena tour, and how big he already is. And you get to see in real time how TikTok even helps numbers on the Billboard charts, where effectively, because of course that shot caller song is going crazy on TikTok. You see everybody in the crowd doing their videos, and the videos are going viral every time. The crowd just wilding out, punching the air and doing all the crazy things to the shot caller jump. I love how that went from the internet to now is actually him having his first entry back on Billboard since 2023 with this, and it came in at number 90. Think about what I'm saying. This song came out 4 months ago, but now it's going viral on TikTok, where now that is making other people who sitting at home like, hey, I would like, oh, this look lit. What song is this? Because you may be realistically, for most people, you're not even familiar with that song. So now that make you be like, oh, dang, let me sit here and go check him out and see what he got going on. So now you sit here and go check it out and be like, oh no, this song realistically low key fire. And I also see that song doing the same thing with the song with I see a lot of women using the jump right now. What's the song with him and Mellow Bucks? I forgot the name of the song, but it's the jump where they doing the clapping and twerking to. Cool. So again, like I said, I can realistically, this 200, 300 million may seem outrageous to somebody who's not really familiar or paying attention to what's going on with NBA YoungBoy. But if you're actually paying attention and you kind of have some common sense on understanding how business works, 200, 300 million don't seem as crazy. It almost seemed like a guaranteed investment where you kind of, if you can keep him out of trouble and you can sit here and get him to just bend a little bit, pause, no Diddy, to doing songs with some bigger artists, i.e., like The Weeknd, or get him a Drake feature or Taylor Swift or any of these other people, and kind of get him, or Sabrina Carpenter, one of these people, and get him on some of these other radio stations. Again, he's doing all this with no radio play. Imagine if he had a hit record on the radio, how much more crazier or how bigger the venues become now when he's on his next tour. So again, shout outs to NBA YoungBoy and shout outs to Birdman for kind of really stepping in doing the business. Because with all this being said, he did an interview with academics and he was saying, telling him like, bro, Atlantic basically gave him back Young Boy for free. Z, like that to me is almost crazy for you saying this, and you got him and that of course goes because of all of the charges and stuff he was getting into. So I kind of understand it a little bit, and they may realistically didn't understand those numbers as well. Because I mean, if you're a big super music exec, 9 times out of 10, your kids don't live in the hood. You don't probably even got no family members still in the hood, so you don't understand how big this kid really was. But